Welcome back to your Daily Dose. My name is Robert, my pal Alinda, who you know well by now. We have talked a lot about this journey, your journey with Parkinson's, and a very interesting one you've been on, and road to acceptance and understanding, compassion, love, all of these things, comparison when it pops up.
Mhm.
The specific element of writing, when you signed up for the Shawshank Hero's Journey, what was that like to you, and what have you learned about yourself, the value of writing and how it fits into, your overall health?
Well, interestingly enough, I signed up for this class for a particular goal, but I thought I saw it through this lens, and I ended up seeing from a different lens. And here I am on the other side of that. What I've learned from my, I think I said this in class, my intention was to solve a problem, if you will. And so I came into it with that perspective. And Um, while I did that, it didn't look like I thought it was going to look. And I think it was a conversation that you and I had where that happened, where I realized, okay, I have to look at it this way. And that was helpful to me because it got me to think differently. I think the 12 steps of the hero's journey has really um, helped me see myself. And also when I watch movies now, I am able to see the journey with all these characters, and I'm like, oh my god, this is something that that I know was happening. Whatever, is it the ordeal, is it innermost cave, and I don't remember them all in order, but the elixir, the test, etc., etc. It's a tool that is very helpful because it helps you tell your story and helps your story enhance, because there's a purpose going on underneath everything to get to where your hero ends up at. And when your hero gets to the end of the story, it probably will look completely different than what you expected to
Yeah.
write from the beginning. And in my case, that's exactly what happened.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing, that when we talk about the word story and storytelling, the ones that people tell most often, because it's a popular idea, but why doesn't it take off, more, like, say, in the advocacy world? Well, because we tell surface level stories, because people are convinced they know their story, and they start just listing the details, the facts of life, and it's like, well, isn't there more to you than this? And the thing we've done, and you really embrace this nicely, was to give ourselves the gift of aesthetic distance, right? To see ourselves, as you mentioned, you can talk to Gigi and realize that's not me. She can
Mhm.
have some of my struggles, and she can do things that still, like you said, surprise me, delight me. I can almost play with her like a clay model or doll, and then watch her live and breathe and go, oh, look what Gigi did. And I've
Mhm.
seen you do that on the page, and you seem delighted with the creation that, as we
Mhm.
say humbly, not that necessarily you created, but you allowed yourself to, allow into the world. Does that make sense?
It does. Something that I've been meaning to share with you, because I think at the first part of our relationship as student and teacher, I'm always tying the bow, tying the bow of each exercise, and it took me a while to get to that. But you've asked us to do reading. That reading is important. Well, if you look at my books, part of the reason I tie things with a bow is because the majority of the books that I read are self-help books. And
Mm.
so I found myself struggling because fiction and nonfiction can wear two different hats. And so I am conditioned to tie the bow and make it all pretty. Um, and so this class has taught me how to accept the dark side of myself. Excuse me, lost my voice there. It's allowed me to learn that it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be succinct with whatever idea is up here that defines perfection, because I know that there's no such thing as perfection, because we all have different filters that you know, you and I could be looking at the same thing and see it completely different way because of your life versus my life. And so it really allowed me to allow the darkness versus resist it. And the yin and yang metaphor, or really what it is that you can't have darkness without light, and you can't have light without darkness. And I've known that my whole life, but through this class, it really sunk in that you really have to have both sides of it, because you can't see the other side if you don't have the contrast.
Yeah, that once again is acceptance. It's the perfectly imperfect, and maybe it is kind of that old, no atheists in a foxhole. When we are pressed, and Parkinson's presses us, no doubt, right? It causes that we become fearful, and therefore we go, okay, time to be literal, time to be binary. It's black and white. And once we do that, oh my God, we talk about this, right? We start seeing the world like this. Look at all of this we're cutting off, because you know what? I have Parkinson's now. This is all I can afford. It has to be what I think it has to be.
Mhm.
And the truth is, it doesn't.
Mhm.
It has to be what it is. And like you said, it's the acceptance of the whole thing that allows us to see it. And again, maybe what's another great one? We can't change the waves, but we can learn to ride them, right?
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
waves are going to crash. We can learn
Yes.
to ride them or duck dive. Alinda, I can't thank you enough for the time this morning, and really for your friendship that has grown, in just a few months. I feel quite close to you, and thank you for your presence, and the gift you give to Yaks.
Thank you.
All right.
I
We'll see you soon.
have really enjoyed working with you.